Hello, my name is Anna. Today I'm going to talk about the importance of change the revenue cycle for Jungle Books. Jungle Books is one of the largest books distributors in North America. Recently, there are some problems of the business model of the Jungle Books, which already threaten the relationship with customers. Therefore, in this presentation, I will identify 5 weaknesses of revenue cycle for Jungle Books. For each weakness, I will describe the critical problem, solution for the problem, and consequence of company if they do not implement the solution. The first problem is the computer of each department are not networked and cannot share data. In order to solve this problem, companies should use a networked computer system instead of older accounting system. It can be shared data between each departments and improve the efficiency and effectiveness. If companies still use the older accounting system, it will cause lost time of employees and lost money to pay employees. Also, internal department cannot communicate directly and timely, which lead the operation of firm inefficient. Another problem is one person can do both sales products and check the limited credit limited for customers, which highly possible to increase the uncollectible money. Managers should separate the duty of make sales and credit approval. The sales clerk only has authority to check the regular customers. The rest of customers' credit should be approved by credit manager. If company not pay attention to that, the bad debt will obviously increase, even cause company loss. Thirdly, there is no process to check inventory availability. This step is very important for company. In order to solve this problem, company should add an inventory field and allow sales representative to check whether the stock available or not before they send to other department. If company does not have this process, the stock out and excess inventory will more likely happen. It will decrease the sales volume, decrease the profitability, and decrease the satisfaction of customers. Receiving the cash payment mile and the routine mile together is the next problem that company faced. It is obviously that cash and check are easier to store. Companies should make a special mile room for customer payment. It is more safety and strictness than mix all mile together. Combine the cash payment and routine mile is high likelihood to increase the risk of losing and stealing. Also, it will result the bank balance cannot match with the financial statement. The last problem is both cash receipt column and account receivable column are received the check and then account receivable column deposit into bank. This is critical problem still due to the check are easier to sift and stolen. This problem can be solved through separate the duty of cash receipt column and account receivable column. The cashier receives the check and then directly deposit to banks. Account receivable clerk only receive remittance data and record account summary. If one person either update the account summary or deposit the check into bank, it will lead to more mistake and fraud. Also, it cannot achieve the purpose of internal control. Therefore, good internal control plays a key role in company. It can help the company to achieve the goal and maximize their profit. Next, Olivia will introduce the weakness of expenditure cycle of Jungle Books.
Hello, my name is Kim. Today I'm going to talk about the weakness of the expenditure cycle of the Jungle Book. Firstly, the first weakness of the Jungle Book system is buying without a plan and failing to do the research. In this case, the purchase manager ignores inflated price of the purchased item of the current selected supplier. The price of the inventory they purchased may be higher than of previous or the standard market price. Moreover, during this time, the store has run out of the inventory and lost chance to the sales of the product to the customer. And in the case of the purchase manager is not honest, he can make personal arrangement to supply the goods and services by the use of another company while hiding his identity. And this is a corrective more than and make a firm to fail a great deal. So Jungle Book should record all the information about the ordering process for accounting purpose and future references, and in the case such purchasing activity should reoccur, and set up a minimum and maximum purchase amount for each item, and ask the purchase manager to follow the purchase plan when buying the inventory. In addition, the purchase plan should be updated at least once a week, and the purchase manager should be asked to some research to seek some new supplier and compare the supplies. The second weakness of the purchase system is that the cloud deal with the receiving goods and the purchase order from purchase department is unsuitable, which could cause damage, like some of the essential features, or may make mistake in accounting items they receive. To solve this problem, the purchasing officers are advised to consistent in data, keeping all the goods that are intended to be supplied by the vendors, and should take some function to prevent receiving clerks seeing the quantity of the inventory. When they receive the purchase order from purchasing department, such as flagging the amount of the shows in the purchase order, as well as clerk of the receiving department should inquire amount that whether the corresponding with the company pays. In addition to this, Jungle Books could require receiving clerk to sign after they receive the inventory and responsibility for themselves behavior. Otherwise, the company could afford bonuses for employees who inspect the discrepancy between the quantity purchased and the amount of actual receiving goods before the delivering person leaves. The third weakness is that when the Jungle Book receive delivery inventory from the supplier, they have obligation to pay their money to them. However, account payable clerk only record account payable after they receive vendor invoice, which appear the mistiming between the two activities, and lead to Jungle Books need to adjust the entry about the accurate financial system at the end of the financial year. At the same time, there could be some potential problem which could happen with the vendor invoice, like digital error, such as difference between quoted and actual prices, as well as the order quantity and the order amount received. To solve this problem, the clerks in the account payable department should pay attention on the kinds of the data may be different from the copy of the purchase order, vendor invoice, and the receiving report on the other hand. In addition to this, the company could have a try about the evaluated received settlement, which does not need invoice anymore. This approach affords a more efficient and accurate way to process data. At the same time, Jungle Books can have a save over cost and the time about processing the document and decreasing numbers of the potential mismatches. The fourth of the weakness of the purchasing system is that the clerk deal with the hard copy of the receiving report is unsuitable. The clerk should add one or more copy of the account for the account payable department as to check the quantity that showed in receiving report with invoice, not purchase order with invoice. To solve this problem is to send a hard copy to account payable department, so account payable clerk could compare the receiving report with invoice. The more the accuracy is, the more of the goodwill of the business will increase. I'm going to talk about the cash disbursement system now. The first weakness of the cash disbursement system is the only one cash disbursement clerk is responsible to do the financial review and update, which is not the most appropriate situation because one person might make mistake when updating the relevant ledger. Plus, due to the financial check is quite important, the assistant treasurer will work in the pressure, which might cause a negative effect during the work. In order to stop this problem, to ask one of the cash disbursement clerk to do the double check is necessary. Moreover, if there are errors in the relevant report, two treasurer might find out easily and quickly. The mailroom clerk and the treasurer scan or photocopy the clerk after done their work, just in case someone else break the check and get the stuff in trouble. The second weakness of the cash disbursement system is that the clerk should review the open account payable files for liabilities that are due frequently or daily. The clerks need to pull the invoice 2 days before the applicable due date in Jungle Book's case. If the clerks omit the payment or before the date of the due date, the business will suffer losses, which will draw down the goodwill of the company. The way to solve this weakness is that the clerk should frequently check the invoice so that the business can reduce the error that failed to pay the supplier. If the business transfer the money on time, the supplier will also trust other company and might give discount in the future. Thank you for listening.